To kick things off, we start by requiring the Express module, which is a fast and minimalist web framework for Node.js. Here we are creating an instance of an Express application by calling Express. This app object gives us the ability to set up our server and its functionality. Next, we're setting up middleware with app use. Middleware functions are those that have access to the request object rec, the response object res, and the next middleware function in the application's request-response cycle. These functions can execute any code, make changes to the request and the response objects, end the request-response cycle, or call the next middleware in the stack. Within our middleware, we first call process hrtime. This function returns a high-resolution real-time in a seconds, nanoseconds, tuple array. It's precise to the nanosecond, which makes it perfect for measuring the response time of our requests. We then listen for the finish event on our response object. This event is emitted when the response has been sent to the client. It's the perfect time to calculate how long the entire request-response cycle took. Once the response has finished, we once again call process hrtime, start hrtime, passing in the start time. The returned value shows the difference, giving us the total time elapsed for that request. We convert the high-resolution time in seconds and nanoseconds into milliseconds. This conversion makes it easier to understand and log. To do this, we multiply the seconds by 1000 and add the nanoseconds divided by 1e6. We also use to fixed 3 to round the number to 3 decimal places. Finally, we log the request method, the request path, the response status code and the elapsed time in milliseconds to the console. This log statement provides a clear and concise output that tells us how each request is handled by our server. After setting up our logging logic, we close the finish event listener. We call next to continue to the next middleware function in the stack. If we don't call next, the request will be left hanging and the client may never receive a response. We then close our logging middleware. Following this point, WED typically include other middleware or route handlers to handle different endpoints and provide the intended functionality for our application. Finally, we make our application listen on port 3000 for incoming connections. When our server starts, it logs a message to the console indicating that it's running and ready to accept requests.